We are ready. Ellie, are you ready? We're ready for evaluating the online advanced clinical massage therapist on pain in adults. Oh, with TMJ.
So, hi, my name is Ellie Lindsay, and my study was evaluating an online advanced clinical massage treatment on pain in adults with temporomandibular joint disorder, or TMJ. And the key points that I'm going to tell you about are that my study, although it was open to male and female, I only had females who took part, and there were 18 of them. This was a 6-week online program, and it existed of pre-recorded videos that the participants were worked through in their own time during that 6 weeks. And by the end of the time we had, they achieved a 50% reduction in pain as an average figure. So I was very pleased about that. So it's thought that 5 to 12% of people in the US suffer from TMJ disorder. There aren't really any UK figures. And obviously there are things like people miss work days and family life, and it affects relationships and things like that. So the impact around this disorder can be huge for people. Other successful treatment options are quite sparse. The main thing that's offered in the UK is a mouth guard or some kind of orthotic by the dentist. Other things are sort of pain medications, over-the-counter medications, Botox occasionally, and in the US is actually more common to be offered surgery to try and rectify the problem. So interestingly, I found this really interesting when I looked at the research, that mouth guards, there was no research supporting an improvement in pain, even though that's the most common treatment offered. Botox, the evidence was inconclusive, and there were some studies that suggested that that could actually make the symptoms worse. And amazingly, surgery has no evidence supporting the results, despite the risks involved and the trauma of going through the surgery itself. So I asked my participants to either have a diagnosis of TMJ disorder or to be experiencing at least 3 of these common symptoms, which is jaw pain, headaches or migraines, teeth grinding, limited opening of their jaw, neck pain or stiffness, and or tinnitus or ear phenomena. And the study involved, first of all, a 6-week control period where the participants were just completing their questionnaire for 6 weeks. Then the intervention starts. So they had 6 weeks worth of pre-recorded videos. So each week they would get the new video released to them. They were also given, because I wanted to offer them some support and to develop some therapeutic alliance that you don't get as much when you are working online with people. We had a private community, which was a Facebook group, where they could ask questions if they got stuck, and I could just generally give them some support. And they could also come together as a group, which I think a lot of them found really helpful. And I also gave them some journal prompts to do as self-care as well, just to support that, that sort of biopsycho approach to pain. So the 2 real techniques that I incorporated was the HFMAS model of heat, fascia work, trigger points, acupressure and stretching. And they were incorporated during the videos that the participants had to do themselves. So they were shown how to do trigger points on various muscles, how to apply heats, how to effectively stretch that muscle, and how to use some acupressure. And then the things that surrounded like the Facebook group and the journaling were more incorporating the biopsychosocial model. So the survey that I used, the questionnaire, was the graded chronic pain scale. And I was most interested in the first 3 questions because they were talking about pain, whereas the rest of the questionnaire was more about the disability caused by the pain. So the first question I asked them was how they would rate their pain on a 0 to 10 scale at that exact time when they were completing the questionnaire. And as you can see, they started off at around a mean score of a 5 out of 10. And by week 12, that went down to a 2.8 out of 10. And then I asked them to look back over the last 7 days and to record their worst pain. When we started off at a 7 as the mean score, and we went down to a 3.8. And then the last question I was really interested in was the average pain over the last 7 days. And again, we started at a 5.9 and we went down to a 3. So I concluded there was a direct correlation between the participants' pain levels and the digital intervention that they received, which was great. And ways that I thought this could be taken further and developed is, obviously it's quite a easy thing to implement with people and it can reach a lot of people. So it could potentially be offered to bigger groups. It could be incorporated into healthcare more and perhaps offered by primary healthcare providers. The people that these people usually seek help from are dentists. So perhaps if there was more education there around these methods, then that could be a way to take this further. It's non-invasive and it's inexpensive to deliver, and it incorporates evidence-based treatment of chronic pain, such as the HF-MAST and the biopsychosocial model. So that was my presentation. So happy to answer any questions.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Questions? I mean, accessible. Everybody can unmute yourself. Woo! Well done.
What kind of protocol you use? What techniques did you use? Did you show them in the videos?
So it's a mixture of the neck and shoulder protocol and the TMJ one as well. So it was sort of trigger points on, upper traps, SCM, and then working on the jaw muscles as well. So we started off sort of in the shoulders, and then as the weeks went on, we worked sort of upwards, really.
Great.
I had a question, Ellie. Sorry if I just interrupted. I was wondering, your measurement tool, you've had to use quite a general tool, and there's obviously not one just for TMJ. Do you think that impacted on your data a lot, or do you think it was quite good at covering the key points that you needed?
I think I was mostly just interested in their pain. So there are some questionnaires that are more focused on TMJ, but they tend to look at jaw opening as being one of the criteria. And I wasn't really interested in that so much for my study. I was more interested in the pain because I just feel like that's the part that impacts people's life the most. So yeah, I think those questions were good because they were specifically about the pain itself.
Do you think people
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Go, Sarah.
I was going to say, do you think people miss the hands-on side of massage? Because being remote means it's super accessible. They can do it as and when they want. I'm just wondering, what if you thought about that?
I think there's a bit of both. I think that some people would prefer to come into a clinic and have the massage. But also there's a type of person that wouldn't want to do that. That we probably all feel like it's really great to come in for a massage, but there are people out there that that feels quite intimidating for them, or they just don't like being touched. So I think there's potential here to reach those people that aren't necessarily going to want to come into clinic.
And would you say it's not even just the type of people, it's also like time and flexibility and things like that? I think there are
Yeah.
lots of people in this Hollywood squares who would love to have a massage every day, and yet we just don't find the time, and it's a much bigger like upheaval, right? Like to go in, the vulnerability. I mean, it's not just the hour, it's the travel, but it's also like coming in and undoing those layers and being able to give somebody a different tool. And that was my question, was just sort of how did you personally get past that? Like, did you have to do a bit of self-talk, like to say this is still massage?
No, I think I more kept it as it being something different. So I didn't offer it to I didn't actually offer it in my local area, for example. So I treated it as something different, and really went quite hard on like the evidence base behind it, because I think it's in these people, a lot of the time they've tried a lot of different things that haven't really worked for them, and they're usually quite fed up. So sort of going in with
alternative.
that. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, thank you.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Oh, yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
just
Go
very
for it.
quickly. Did you get them to do any intraoral massage in their own mouths?
Yeah. So they did the masseter intraoral. Yeah.
And how did they feel about it? Did they have was there an apprehension?
Not really. No. I think they felt that it was quite satisfying. Yeah.
Getting
Sure.
All right, great. All right. Thank you.
Thank
Woo!
you.